the lining and the garment together at the waistline. The lining has to be attached to the pant before we put the waistband on. So just put the lining inside the legs and inside the body, and then start pinning it, just finding your center back seam, find the side seam, and find your darts, and put a few pins in place. And then we are going to baste these seams, these two shells together. I'm going to put... Now, for the zipper opening, you take the opening of the lining and you make it just about a ½ inch deeper than where the notch is, and then just kind of fold the ½ inch inward and finger press. Just finger press, just so you know where to fold it. Then we're going to take this fold and we place it to the middle, to the last middle seam of the... You cannot go close to the zipper, because if you go too close, then when you pull the zipper up, the lining gets stuck in it. So you have to stay away from the zipper far enough. And this is going to be hand slip stitched to the zipper. So kind of walk this down to the end of the zipper, and then we're going to come back up on the other side. See, you can have the zipper open, and we'll walk this seam right into the lower part of the zipper. Just let's go one step at a time here. See, we're going to move this back, and we're going to bring this seam into the end of the zipper part, like right there. And let's put a pin there. And now we're going to just sort of move it around, and see, this is where the end of the shield. Okay, now we take this folded part here, and right here where the seam is, the finished seam where we attach the shield to the zipper, we're going to use that as a guide. And again, from the top down, we're going to pin the lining. Now I'm going to pin in the same direction as the other pins, because we're going to do like a continuous sewing. You know, you don't have to stop on the bottom. You just start over here and then come back up on this side with your slip stitch. It should be an invisible slip stitch. So, see, we just follow the stitching line, and if all goes well, we're going to end up in here on the bottom. Should be nice and flat. See, it's going to lay right around the end of the shield. So it looks like this. Okay, this is going to be slip stitched. Okay, now because of the two different parts in here, sometimes the way the lining fits in here kind of shifts. So what I don't want to do is put this, we'll take this out to give us a little more play, okay? Now this area here, you don't want to pull this too much, so when you pin this, you want to kind of ease that a little bit in there, because otherwise you're stretching the waist more than what you need to. And in here, you can, you know, See, here's your outer. We can bring it up right to there. Sometimes you have to compromise a little bit in order to get things done. Okay. So then in here, you see it's really very little. You just kind of, put your pleat. You just move that. It's gotten a little deeper, but it's very little. It doesn't compromise anything. So you put it in the same direction as the outer, and then you finish pinning the rest here. Now let's see how this one came out, because sometimes, like I said, they're not quite the same. Again, you want to ease this part a little bit. Actually, if you wanted to, you could lay your pattern against it. And now see, this kind of worked out just pretty much perfect. Don't have to do anything on this side. So this part here has to be basted real quick, and then later you can slip stitch this at some point. We'll finish pinning these parts. Now the regular seam for the waistband is going to be a 1/2 inch, so we want to do the base stitch a little bit less. So if you can do 3/8, or you do like a fat quarter, just don't do less than a quarter. So you can take a number 4 stitch. You don't need the back stitch. Just work on this inner curve coming from the front and end up over here. So we'll do this work, and then we'll move back to the waistband.